If 2021 showed us anything, it was that the alternative scene is thriving, mainstream music is finally good again, and all in all, 2022 is set to multiply that by the thousands. Welcome to Everyone Does Music, where today we're going to be talking about the 10 albums that are my most anticipated for 2022. I haven't done a video like this in, I think, 4 or 5 years. Technically 4, I believe, because my last video I did was my top 10 most anticipated 2017 albums. Most of those I think didn't even come out. But regardless, it's been a while. I wanted to do this video again for a while, to say the least. Now that I'm finally back on track with uploads, this seems like the perfect time to do it. And what better year than 2022? There are dozens of albums rumored to be coming out. But there's a lot of rumors here. And partially we're going to be sticking between rumors, and we're going to be partially sticking, for the most part, to actual confirmed releases. But all in all, I think this list is full of enough. It's got a little something for everybody. I don't know if you guys are excited for any of these releases, just like I am. And without any further ado, let's get into it. My 10 top most anticipated albums for 2022. Starting off the list at number 10, we got 3 Days Grace with their album Explosions. There are several certainties in life: death, taxes, economic devastation, and 3 Days Grace putting out a rock album every few years. I've been largely on the fence about vocalist Matt Walsh ever since he took over from his old band My Darkest Days to cover the vocal spot for 3 Days Grace after Adam Gontier left, but I'll admit he's had a couple bangers here and there. Although no album has really captured my attention as much as pre-Matt albums like Life Starts Now or 1X. Nothing has really caught me with enough fire and enough pull. But I've come to realize that Matt's actually had more albums with the band than Adam did, and at this point it's really his band, which is really weird to think about. But like I said, no album has really caught me per se. Not even a lead single outside of maybe Chalk Outline has really got my attention too much to make me think, all right, 3 Days Grace, gotta check them out this year. And after the, I'll just say personally, I felt pretty miffy album, The Mountain, I thought to myself, okay, yeah, 3 Days Grace, they've officially gone off my radar. There's officially not much that I can really get enjoyment-wise out of the band. But then I heard this new song, So-Called Life, and something about it, I don't know what it is. I can't fully put my finger on it, but something about this song has that familiar classic 3 Days Grace vibe to it. Something about it pulls me in like those old albums used to. You know, maybe it's misplaced. Maybe this album's going to be more typical Matt Walsh fare. Maybe it's going to be something just a carbon copy of something like Transit of Venus, but you know what? I don't know why. I'm hyped for it, I'm excited for it, and it's 3 Days Grace. They're going to be consistent at the very least. So, something to look forward to. Number 9, we got Oliver Tree coming out with Cowboy Tears, which it has a confirmed title, it has a confirmed coming soon, but it doesn't really have a release date per se. Still putting it on here though, because 2022 feels very realistic for a release date. I actually had a lot of praise for his debut studio album, Ugly is Beautiful. His consistency and ability to make some very catchy pop and lyrics there, it was very endearing in a way that I knew exactly what I was getting with an Oliver Tree album. I knew exactly what to expect, and I came out on the other end of the album pretty satisfied. I feel like he gets a bad rap, especially now, for his overly simple songs on the surface. More recently, Life Goes On. Cash Machine, a lot of people called it one of the more basic and unenjoyable songs from the entire year. I, for one, thought it was pretty solid. Oliver Tree isn't out here trying to be the world's best artist. He's out here to make music that he enjoys, with a character that he enjoys. Are the lines between his character work and his actual personality very blurred? Absolutely, but that's part of the allure of Oliver Tree, both as a personality and as an artist. You never know which side of him you're really getting, or if there's even sides at all, if it's just who he is. That's the intriguing thing about him and his music. The recent snippet that we got of a song, I believe it was called, I thought I had the name settled here. He released a recent snippet that gives off sort of almost acoustic country vibe in a way. Like, I don't know why, that feels like the most accurate example. So we could see a complete genre switch this upcoming release. And if that's what we get, honestly, I'm excited for it. I want to see more facets of Oliver Tree's musicianship, and I want to see what he can do with a new, I suppose, persona here. I got that to look forward to. Number 8, we got Bad Omens with their album The Death of Peace and Mind, and I'm going to be completely honest, right out of the gate, up until the release of the title track of this album, I paid very little attention to Bad Omens. I couldn't name more than like 1 or 2 songs, and even their most successful song, the one that's like, I see the devil more than I see God, or something like that. I don't even know the name of that off the top of my head. I'll admit, I'm not really super well versed in the band, I'll be completely honest, but when I heard the lead single for this album, something just clicked. I saw that they had a new song out, and I thought to myself, you know what, I got a few minutes to spare. Fuck it, let's check out new Bad Omens, and I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect. I expected a typical metalcore song that kind of bordered on state of the line, you know, typical stuff here, but it was something that had some different edge to it, but it still felt like the old Bad Omens music. I didn't expect a overall just larger than life anthemic song coming right out of the gate, especially in a lead single from a band like Bad Omens, who feels like what they want to do is be loud, angry, and fast-paced all the entire time. I didn't expect this lead up for the beginning of the album cycle. And it only took listening to the other 2 released tracks that have come out for the album so far to realize that this may be one of metalcore's dark horse albums of the year. This might be an album that blows away everybody else, sort of in a similar way to how 2018's Holy Hell came courtesy of Architects. This could be a game changer for the metalcore scene come 2022. What Do You Want From Me feels like something out of a Halo Reach music video, something just sad and yet powerful at the same time. And oh my god, Artificial Suicide, I feel like I should be playing Doom, and I think I should be ripping demons apart to that song. It is beautiful. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. Obviously, it's on the list. I'm looking forward to all of these. What the fuck am I talking about? Number 7, we got College Park coming from Logic. Again, doesn't have a release date, but it's got the big label of big things coming soon attached to it, so I'm expecting it this year. Logic is a guy that a lot of people write off as base level. He's a basic rapper. There's nothing more to him besides his hit single 1-800. People disregard him just as quickly as they disregard other rappers like Eminem or Drake or Kanye West. But I swear to God, this guy puts in layers and layers of effort, work, love, story into every album that he's put out. I mean, just look at his release, No Pressure, that came out a while ago. That was one of the top rap albums of the year, from my personal opinion at the very least. And I saw a lot of positive reaction to it. And all these people that react positively to an album, feels like their very next action is to say, oh yeah, he's just overrated though. He's a flash in the pan. Logic's been around for years and years, putting out stellar songs one after another. This guy's more than a flash in the pan. This guy's on the come up constantly, with no sign of glass ceiling. He's been posting snippets and teasers on social media, and from the sounds of things, we have another possible masterpiece coming from the man himself. There's not a lot I can say on it, but honestly, I think just from the sheer teasers and the idea that he's putting so much work into this, just as much work as he's put into every other release, this guy never phones it in. I think we could very honestly see something that's on level with Young Sinatra 4 or Bobby Tarantino 2. Look forward to this absolute rap banger coming out this next year, hopefully. Number 6, back to albums that we do have confirmed dates for. We have Under Oath with Voyeurist. 2018's Erase Me was Under Oath lighting a fire under their own ass and riding that explosion into the new era that the scene had developed into. Their fists were raised to the sky, and their other hand was holding a Molotov cocktail, and they were ready to bring back that fire and aggression. Overall, just genuine notoriety that they carried with their name alone. I would say this comeback is on level with this past year's 303 album, as well as 2018. And the Of Mice and Men's Earth and Sky. This is a comeback album that's going to be remembered for a long fucking time. The singles we received so far in the lead up to Voyeurist border on straight up hate fuel and hate fuck energy. It's exactly what I'm looking for from a new Under Oath release in 2022. These riffs sound like they were taken from the past and given a modern vibe, and I gotta say, I'm especially excited for this album on the pure fact that in one of their pre-release singles, Ghostmane's on it. Not only do we have the fucking anti-icon himself popping in, but that song alone is probably the hardest we've gotten in the come up to this album so far. When you can say your hardest song comes from the influence partially of another artist, let alone an artist like Ghostmane, you gotta say you got something unique on your hands. So Voyeurist, I could argue Voyeurist could end up being in my top 10 purely because it seems like taking everything good from Erase Me, improving it, taking anything negative from Erase Me, because there was a couple things, throwing out the fucking window. We got nothing but positives on the way coming through. Number 5, okay, yeah, the list is being kind of half and half with confirmed and not confirmed albums, but this one's sure to come. We got Hollowfront with their currently unnamed album. Maybe I'm a little biased because these guys are from my home state and I've seen them a whole 5 times, but I truly think Hollowfront is the band to watch in the scene. They're the rookie of the fucking year. they're soon to be more than rookies, they're just going to become mainstays as the years go on and on. With a combined mind for absolute metalcore bangers as early as their Homewrecker EP, these guys are truly something special in the ever-expanding metalcore scene, with their dedication to creating a sound that stands out from the rest, even in their most early works. Like, this isn't music within the metalcore genre that's made just to match up with other bands. This isn't music that's made specifically to appeal to fans of certain bands. These guys still accomplish that, but while retaining an individual sound that a lot of bands don't really get into until their first major label release. And they had it straight from the fucking get-go with Homewrecker EP, Still Life. They expanded upon it even more with Loose Threads. Their most recent single, Treading Water, is another brief glimpse into their ever-hardening sound. And just one more reason to keep those ears wide open. Honestly, they are up there with I Prevail and We Came as Romans, with being one of the top alternative bands in the state of Michigan. Number 4, we got Taylor Swift. Again, unconfirmed. Don't Hurt Me. It's no secret that Taylor Swift came out of nowhere in 2020 and 2021 and just kind of took over the charts, took over the radio, took over streaming services, Folklore, Evermore, and her re-releases of Red and Fearless. And they've been something else. Taylor Swift has been around the world, household name. She was already a household name, but she re-entered households with a baseball bat, broke your TV and said, look at me, pay attention to me, I'm all you need, look at me. She got that firm grasp on her reality, and she became our lives. And we got some brand new, but also somehow familiar and nostalgic notches added onto her belt with the releases of Folklore and Evermore. Some albums that, God forbid, I think they were some of the best albums of the 2010s. Or would you count that as the 2020s at this point? People always confuse the fuck out of me. Personally, I think 2020 is the start of the next decade in and ends at 2029, so on and so forth, last and so on. Whatever, I'm getting off track. But the real question is, are we going to get a return to the hyper bright aesthetic that came with Lover? Are we going to get more of this indie influenced, soft rock, almost country leaning? I'm good with whatever, because Taylor Swift, year after year, release after release, has never released a bad album, and she has constantly shown again and again that she can adapt to her surroundings and create a piece of art that not only reflects her life and her experiences in an honest way, but it comes off in an absolutely repeatable, replayable, enjoyable way. So whatever comes next from Taylor Swift, hopefully it comes soon. Hopefully it comes in 2022. And hopefully it fucking rocks. Number 3, another unnamed album, but this one is essentially confirmed, I would say, because look at this tweet I put out like a month ago at this point, I think. I don't know, the tweet's next to me, that's got the dates on it. And that right there says we got something to look forward to say the least. Real talk though, I think The Funeral Portrait is one of the best kept secrets in the scene. They released an EP back in 2014, a couple singles, and a largely unnoticed 2018 album. And ever since then, they've been peppering us with little glimpses of what's happening, little peeks into the shadows here. I think these singles have been nothing but hits. Overall production and effort put into these songs rivals a lot of the big names here, so that alone makes no sense that these are going largely unnoticed, because these songs have feeling and the vibe that they're destined for radio play. They're destined to be mentioned on State of the Scene podcast, so on and so forth. These guys should be much bigger than they are, especially with their track record and their time length within the scene. But for whatever reason, they're just not. These guys should be on the same level as Tala, Fever 333, similar acts, but I think this 2022 album will finally put them at their rightful place, sitting at the top of the bands. These guys have a sort of undeniable rock energy that it just begs to be belted out of a car window. This begs for road trips or just time alone in your room. You're playing a game, you're having time of your life, and you're singing a song like Holy Water to yourself as you race on a racetrack or some other fucking thing like that. Funeral Portrait is a fun as fuck band. They deserve to be bigger, and I think that this 2022 album is destined to be something special, to say the least. Number 2, we got As It Is with I Went to Hell and Back. It's a confirmed album. It's confirmed. Here's the release date. Don't fucking stab me. This is coming out for sure. As It Is spent their 2020 schedule releasing fucking amazing singles like I Don't Give a Fuck, I Miss 2003, and a few others. And honestly, I thought they were just doing the Falling Reverse effect and choosing to just release singles for like a few years. But thankfully, we got the announcement of this full album, and I think this could be their most broad work thus far. This feels like something from, well, ironically, 2003, while also retaining the modern As It Is sound. I followed the band for a long fucking time. In fact, ever since the release of their first real, like, big single, Can't Save Myself, because I was already following Petty Walters on his YouTube channel. It doesn't matter what these guys do. They can do a 1950s inspired album like Okay, an emo classic album like The Great Depression, or just a straight up pop punk banger filled chorus like Never Happy Ever After. These guys don't miss. They just keep going on and on, putting out quality release after quality release. And this album feels like they took all their perfectly good qualities and combined them. There's the catchiness of Okay. There's the raw energy of Never Happy Ever After. And there's the emotion and honesty that came with the Great Depression. As it is, they're about to take over the pop punk scene, and I wager that they're going to be the pop punk album of the year. Unless Neck Deep comes out of nowhere and drops another album, then maybe we got some competition. And real talk, the lead single, I Don't Give a Fuck, that is the best the band has sounded, period, throughout their years. Best lead single, best song in particular in general. I will die on that hill. I will fight for that, straight up. Okay, technically we had 6 albums on here without a release date, but 2 of those 6 were Logic and Oliver Tree. They're basically all but confirmed. And this one might as well be all but confirmed considering the cycle that's been leading up to it. So you know what? I'm confident in it. Number 1, we have We Came as Romans with a currently unnamed album, but an album that's sure to come out given what they've been doing. They've released, I think, 5 singles now. We've had Daggers, Black Hole, Carry the Weight, From the First Note, and there's another one, I believe. I don't know how I could possibly forget this release. It was probably their biggest single that they've released in this current era, Dark Bloom. So far, we're seeing a continuation of the sort of vibes and overall feeling and emotions that we saw in Cult Like War, but this album is special for a number of reasons. It's the first release after the very unfortunate passing of former Clean vocalist Kyle Pavone, and really, this could be... A lot of people are viewing this upcoming album in a negative way. A lot of people say that the band is nothing without Kyle, that they should have just broke up after he left. Fuck all of that, and fuck all of you who think that, honestly. We Came as Romans is carrying on the spirit of Kyle, and they're doing him proud. I honestly think they are. Dave has taken over fully on vocals. The rest of the band, they've stepped up their energy to make a performance enough to make their brother proud. We Came as Romans has overcome one of the worst things you can experience, both as a group, as a unit, as a family, as a group of friends. And I think they're going to come out strong as hell from it. They're going to come out and put out an album that is possible to eclipse even to Plant a Seed. For those reasons, and just the overall fact that it's We Came as Romans, when they take their time, they put out mountains of content and mountains of worthy bangers. This album, I'm just going to say right here, it might end up being my personal favorite of the year, regardless of genre. And there we go, 10 albums that are sure to come out, or probably coming out, within 2022. We got some rock stuff in here. We had whatever the fuck Oliver Tree is going to do, whatever Taylor's going to do, and we had some pure metalcore. I'm so fucking pumped. I've already gotten a good start in reviews for this year. I've done reviews for Volbeat, Famous Last Words, Amity Affliction. I'm on a good track here, so hopefully I can keep up with these releases as well. What do you guys think about the 2022 release calendar? Did I miss anything that you're sitting here and be like, well, how come he didn't mention Rick Ross or whoever's putting out stuff this year? Let me know. Tell me what you're looking for down in the comments. Who knows? I might look at one of those releases and keep an eye on that very release. Regardless, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Stay hydrated. I'll see you next time.